Hey everybody, Gil Gamer here, and it must be my new type of crack to talk about the Xbox Scarlet and what's going on with it, because it's fascinating and also kind of watching a train wreck at the same time as Microsoft's talking about the Lockhart lower end all digital version, or people rumoring it, and then the Anaconda, which is much more powerful. And there was a lot of stuff that came out last few days. I've been wanting to make a video, was really tired yesterday, didn't sleep good the night before. I'm just going to knock these out now. I got this one and talk about the new Ghostbusters trailer. That's going to be something good to talk about. But done a lot of talking in the Video Game Virus Discord, and one of our other friends, of course, I'm not saying I always agree with him or disagree with him, but we're all pretty good friends. Leo DS, Cyrus knows him as well. He's mentioned him before. He has some good points. And going through these teraflop numbers, of course, teraflops are just a number. They're not relative to just, absolute changes with hardware, different CPUs. It increases, that changes with memory bandwidth, memory types, SSD versus non-SSD. Of course, both new Xboxes and PlayStations are going SSD from the report. But anyway, the thing that came out and was before, Anaconda was 10 teraflops. Lockhart was 4. Newer one says, and even I saw the Spawn Wave, bigger people talking about this, Anaconda is 12 teraflops, and Lockhart is fucking 4. Everybody in the Discord channel so far has agreed that this is absolute garbage, although Retro Bro John, he commented on my other video and he said it's hot. It's just Microsoft needs to get out of their own way, and it's just being stupid. And I agree, my friend. But 12 teraflops and 4? What's going on here? And there was a good point that Leo and other people were making, and running the numbers in my head on paper and looking at stuff, this might make sense of Lockhart is 1080p, Anaconda is 4K. I have right here a GTX 1060, 6 gigabytes of memory. It runs reportedly online, of course it's just a raw number, of 4.4 teraflops. So theoretically, if everything was cool, it was coupled with the most powerful setup, which my motherboard and CPU combo need to be upgraded. That's the bottleneck. It has more horsepower on paper, just a number, than a PS4 Pro, but not as much as an Xbox One X. So I could do some 2K, some 4K, but I game and max out a lot of stuff at 1080p. This monitor is one Cyrus gave me. It's a 1080p 60 hertz Asus gaming monitor. I don't care. It's sitting in front of this monitor. I don't care to have 4K. 1080p is fine. I'm old. I don't give a shit. People go, oh, you need to get 4K. I don't care. Then my buddy had a GTX 1080. He went to the 2080. But the GTX 1080, he played all the games when we played together on the computer, which we need to get back into it when I get this machine upgraded and catch up. He played everything at 4K. Nick, my buddy Geeks with Cash, again, I always say go look at his channel. He played everything comfortably at 4K. That car has been reported. I looked it up online. I know the numbers are a little off, but it's kind of hard to find it on some of these. It's 8.9. So let's say 9 teraflops versus 4.4. It's like double. So it's double. That kind of makes sense, that this could be a 1080p versus 4K box. But then again, here's the thing that I'm questioning. Why is it now reporting a 12 teraflops? Is it 4 teraflops is a lot of horsepower. It's more than the Xbox One and the PS4, and they could run the PS4 especially with better underlying. I mean, it had similar teraflop power. I haven't looked it up here, but I can't remember today. They were very close at around the 2 teraflop, both of them. But the difference in hardware architecture, such as the DDR3 and the other split memory on the Xbox One, the Windows operating system on top of it, it didn't run as good as the unified DDR5 memory and a NetBSD very thin operating system as the PS5. Again, numbers don't always make sense. Like I said, they're just numbers. Then we look at the, going back to this, and we're talking about the 4 teraflops. Could it be the 1080p? It could be, because it has more than enough power to run the large games that they need and everything they need in all the memory at just a 4K or 1080p resolution. Like here, 4 something teraflops, give or take, depending on your setup. and they may not need as much as even this, because the new Xbox is going to have SSD, better RAM than even I got here. So that could help. The games come out and they're at 2 different resolutions. But I don't understand the huge gap. I don't understand why there's so much more. I mean, it's reporting now. I mean, you look at it, there's reports that are going to be very similar. So that 9.2 number for the PS5 could be false, and they could be cranking up to around the 12 teraflops. The point is, I've been reading that a lot of the PS5 and the Xbox Scarlet, the 2 Anaconda one, they're going to be almost interchangeable in hardware. They're to the point they got the same hardware. They're going to be a true race between the two companies, and go forward with it. And then once Microsoft will have a lot of games, Sony might kick their ass again. Like I said, but this is interesting. It's kind of my train wreck to watch, because I get there's a difference between 1080p and 4K, but again, Sony, let's say the PS5 matches the Anaconda teraflop for teraflop, memory, specs, all this good stuff. It can do the same amount of work, whatever the underlying hardware is. Sony systems can still render the game at 1080p. You don't need another piece of hardware. Sure, it might even run the games at 220, 240 frames per second or some ungodly amount, and actually be ridiculously nice. But they're only going to have one box out there. And seeing, going back to my real world example that I didn't agree with the talks we've been having in Discord, I do agree with them now. Now, 3 times the difference between the Lockhart and the Scarlet, or the Anaconda, being that much. I don't know why. Maybe it's just for extra stuff, extra features, but I don't know. This seems like a very bad idea. Microsoft just doesn't have any clue where they're going, and even now a new bit of information was they don't even know what to name it. It's going to be a name. The Xbox 360 was about what it encompassed. The 360, the one, were ideas, and now it's not going to be an Xbox 2 or Xbox 3. It's going to be an Xbox blah. They're going to put some weird name after it, and that's already, people are thinking they're already hurting themselves again by not even making it identifiable. When people go to a store, they want to look at the next blank. What's the next one? Oh, PS5? Oh, there's a PS5. Let's get it. Again, going back to that example, the Wii U. Bad name. The Xbox, I don't know. The Xbox Anaconda, let's say it is, or something, or what it does. Say if it says, if it's full, Xbox, I don't know. I can't make of a name because I think it's stupid. If they make something out there and somebody go, which one is that one? Well, they had the Xbox One, and then they went on the Xbox One S, and then the One X, and people are going, okay. Then they have this one, and it's just like numbers are easier, and it's going to hurt Microsoft overall. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see how this develops. We're still not going to see anything, I don't think, until early next year. 2 big consoles coming from Microsoft. Is the Lockhart going to be a 1080p box? It kind of pans out when you look at real world examples. Me at 1080p gaming, my buddy at 4K. But that discless version is horrible. You're going to ask people that don't care about 4K to get the cheaper next gen to have an internet pipe that can do it, and that could ruin that little Lockhart. So let me know what you think. Comments below. Again, I've enjoyed following this because it's so bad that I'm interested. So let me know what you think. I do appreciate everybody watching. Picky Old Gamer out.